time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, someone had an idea for a Kenobi series that made no sense from start to end. We wonder why they did it. We hoped it had a plan. But as it came down to the end, we realized, yeah, they just pretty much phoned this shit in. That's pretty much it. So, we arrive at the last episode, episode 6 of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Everything leading up to it has been leading to this. And at the end of it, you're going to come to the same conclusion I did. So let's get into it. Now, after what happened, Reva trying to kill Vader in the most ridiculous manner possible, being stabbed in the chest and left for dead, which apparently didn't kill her the first time. No possible way it's going to kill her this time. And then Vader and the Inquisitor just leave her there. So somehow, and this is the start of the things that make no sense in this episode. Somehow, Reva not only survives, well, we know she was going to survive. She somehow got off the planet, even though I'm quite certain that she somehow got off Jabim, even though I'm quite certain that the Empire took all their ships. Vader destroyed one of the rebel ships and they took off in the other one. But somehow Reva got off of that planet. Apparently got some medical attention somewhere along the way, I don't know. And she goes to Tatooine. Right? She ends up on Tatooine and questions this man who's giving out some kind of food or something about Owen because she's looking for Luke. The man apparently tells her, and then he goes and tells Owen and Luke that this woman is coming looking for them. We'll get back to that in a second. The rebels / refugees, well, let's call them the Path, are being pursued by Vader in his Star Destroyer. Now, apparently nobody on this Star Destroyer could shoot straight because this tiny little ship that cannot outrun you because it's made clear that their hyperdrive isn't working, their shields are barely holding on, and the Empire is shooting at them, yet they haven't had a critical hit yet. The majority of shots just missing and everything is kind of grazing them. Okay. So, Kenobi tells, this counterfeit-looking wannabe leader, whoever the hell he is, tells him that Vader is after him. He will sacrifice himself and give them time to get away. And Leia is all, no, you can't do that, and all that. And even the refugees on the ship are all, no, we have to stay together. I mean, you met this man like 2 days ago. He's the reason that the Empire is trying to kill you right now, and you're all, no, we should all stay together and die in a glorious fiery end. Okay, well, I give all your props for that. Apparently all you could actually care, so whatever. So, Kenobi takes a small shuttlecraft, right? And he comes out and decides to go in a different direction from the ship that the Path and them are on. Now, Vader and the Inquisitor are on a Star Destroyer, right? This is a giant ship with possible dozens, if not hundreds of other fighter ships and smaller ships on it. Common sense would dictate that you send a small battalion after Kenobi. If Vader wants to go along with it, okay. And you have the Star Destroyer pursue the other rebel ship. The Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor, tries to tell him that, we have to pursue them. He's no, go after Kenobi. So the whole Star Destroyer goes after Kenobi's small ship here because that is common sense. Do you understand me? That is common sense. You could have easily done both. You had the manpower and resources to do both, but no. Go after Kenobi. So Kenobi touches down on this planet and prepares to fight Vader. Vader knows what's going on, so he takes his ship and goes down there. Two of them have their big confrontation, because remember last time they had this, Kenobi ran like a little bitch, but this time he's apparently ready to fight him. And what follows is a lightsaber duel that I can only say Reva versus Vader was better than this. Because all of a sudden, Kenobi has his force powers back. Right? He got apparently he got his groove back. But he's still, struggling and whatnot. So Vader does the whole you're still weak and one and the other, uses some force powers to crack open the ground and then try to bury him alive. And then he walks away. Kenobi is there barely holding on, has flashes, has like 2 flashes of Luke and a whole bunch of different flashes of Leia. He suddenly gets his massive groove back, busts out of there and turns into literal Force Jesus. Next thing you know, he's slashing away at Vader, and again, it's supposed to be an interesting battle, but considering the fact that Vader has had 10 years to hone his skills with the Force, lightsaber and everything, Kenobi hasn't. You would expect a more balanced, a more deadly, a more powerful lightsaber and Force battle from these two masters. Instead, all of a sudden, Kenobi is slashing away at Vader, damages his breathing apparatus on his chest, cuts off half of his mask and thing, revealing Vader's face, and then oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I failed you, Anakin. I'm really sorry. And then, all of a sudden, Vader tells him that he is not his failure, Obi-Wan, that it was Vader himself who destroyed Anakin. And then Obi-Wan is like, goodbye and leaves, because he realizes that his friend is really gone. What was the point of this? Honestly, what was the point of this? None of it made any kind of bloody sense. I mean, if you had just left it, what happened with them originally in the fight in the Revenge of the Sith, where it is he left them by the lava and all kind of thing, that pretty much wrapped up everything there, because he pretty much it was pretty much explanatory thing that, Anakin was gone and this was Vader. What was the point of this ridiculous fight? I don't know. Then in the end, there's no settling it, He just Kenobi literally walks away, leaving him there, and Vader is all shouting out, Kenobi, and you're like, what the ass was the point of this? None of this makes any sense. There was no reason for this fight. There was no reason for this battle. Nothing. Other than a bunch of bait and switch and, trying to bait people into what is ridiculous. So anyway, back on Tatooine, Owen tells Beru, his wife, that Reva is coming for Luke. He wants to go and hide. He wants to run and hide, but she has some weapons there and say that Reva will come for them at night. This is their home. They're not going to leave. They'll have to fight. Okay, several things off the bat. One, why is Reva coming at night? She clearly knows where this place is. She's been told where this place is. She can't be stupid enough to believe that, the man who told her and she let this man live isn't going to go and tell the people them that. Wouldn't it make more sense to come before they have time to prepare? But no, she's coming at night. 2, Owen wants to run and hide, and all of a sudden his wife grows a pair of balls and she has blasters ready to defend the place. Apparently blasters that he never knew about. Okay. And 3rd, why is Reva even coming there? What reason does she have for actually going after Luke? We don't know. But regardless of it, nightfall comes, Reva shows up. Again, she could have come during the day, but no, she shows up at night. comes in there, ignites a lightsaber, sneaking around. Then the dark firing at her, and she's once again, using some of the worst blocking I have ever seen possible. They try to fight her off. You understand me? They try to fight her off, and all of this. She even injures Owen's leg and all of this stuff. Then she goes after Luke, who takes off running into the desert from her. Obi-Wan somehow senses all of this. Right? Somehow senses all of this, jumps back in his little jump ship, takes off from the planet, ignites the hyperdrive, and gone. Now, the reason the rebels couldn't escape in the first place from the Star Destroyer was because their hyperdrive wasn't working. Yet somehow the hyperdrive on this small ship is working. So wouldn't it have made more sense to just switch out the damn hyperdrive from the small dropship into the larger ship and take off? Everybody would have been safe, but no. Somehow we're supposed to believe that this writing makes any sense at all. So Reva is now hunting Luke down across the desert, doing that whole, suddenly she has a little injury, kind of limp run across the desert while Luke is trying to escape, Luke climbs up on some mountain trying to run. She uses the force to pull him down. And while he's lying there unconscious and she's going towards him to murder him, again, we don't know why, she suddenly starts having flashbacks of seeing Luke as herself, and kind of seeing herself as Anakin / Darth Vader when he killed people. I'm like, so now you having an attack of conscience? All the horrible things you've done. I mean, in the first episode of this show, you literally cut a woman's arm off. You've been instrumental in murdering hundreds of people, and somehow now you're having some sort of panic attack and realizing, what have I become? Obi-Wan shows up at the planet, at Tatooine, goes looking for Luke, meets Owen and Beru searching out in the desert, calling his name, decides to help them look, but all of a sudden, Beru sees Reva coming back carrying Luke in her arms. She drops down to her knees, places Luke on the ground. They all think, oh no, what has she done? Suddenly Luke starts to move. And nobody, neither Owen or Beru, because at this point we can't count on good old Obi-Wan for anything, but neither Owen nor Beru thinks to themselves, perhaps I should shoot this woman in the face right now. She did just break into your house, try to kill you, and wants to murder your child, but no. So they pick up Luke and walk away, and she's all there about, oh, I couldn't do it. Telling Obi-Wan I couldn't do it. I couldn't avenge my friends. How is murdering this innocent child supposed to avenge your friends? This child did nothing to you. Even if you somehow know that this is Vader's, that this is Anakin's son, how exactly does killing him balance the scales in any way? And she's all about have I become him? And yet Obi-Wan is, no, you haven't. I mean, are you crazy? Yes, she has. This woman has murdered hundreds of innocent people, done horrible things. She became him a long time ago. A long flicking time ago. But, apparently this is supposed to be her big, sort of changing of the heart shit story or whatever. So she drops her evil lightsaber and starts crying and thing, and so that's her big redemption arc. Jesus Christ. Vader now back on his ship, and he wants to hunt down Kenobi, and Kenobi needs to be stuff and kind of thing. And then we see Emperor Palpatine looking just as stupid as ever, and he questions whether it is Vader is really committed to them, committed to their cause and all of this. So then, after that, Vader decides he's going to abandon his search for Kenobi. Kenobi means nothing. They have his loyalty is only to Emperor Palpatine. It's just absolutely stupid. Honestly, just stupid. So lo and behold, apparently the path got away. Shocking. And Leia is back on Alderaan, and she's getting herself dressed and all of this. And apparently, this holster that Obi-Wan gave her that belonged to the woman who blew herself up. She decides to put it on there, and she goes outside, and Obi-Wan shows up in this ship to return her droid that that Leia had given to him when he was going to fight Vader. So he shows up there, and he tells the Organas and him that he will help them if they ever need it and all of this, and he tells Leia that he knew her parents, her real parents, and what and then the other, and then they bid farewell and they're gone. Wow, that was a big wrap up nobody cared about. He goes back to Tatooine and apparently moves out of the cave he was living in. Apparently, so he could go and live in another cave. He goes and he tells Owen that Luke only needs to just be a boy and enjoy himself and not have to worry with all the things that happens. Things will work out when they work out and all of this. I mean, even though now would have been the perfect time to start training him, because you apparently got your force powers back, and you could have taught him from then. By that age, but if you start teaching him then, by time New Hope roll around, he'd have been one badass Jedi master could have taken care of anybody and anything. But no, let's just be stupid about this. So Owen allows him to meet Luke, which again makes no sense, because wouldn't Luke have asked at some point, excuse me, Uncle Owen, who's that creepy old man who's always watching us and dropping off things here and all of this? But anyway, so Obi-Wan goes over to him and says his famous line, "Well, hello there." And next thing you see Obi-Wan going across the desert on this camel-looking thing, and finally, he gets to see the Force ghost of Qui-Gon. Apparently, he couldn't see him all this time because he had some unresolved issues he needed to work through that nobody actually gives a shit about at this point. But whatever, and that's how it ends. The lack of common sense throughout this show has truly been amazing. They have literally found ways to reach new heights with it. I don't know who this show is supposed to be for, because I have said it before, I'll say it again. Star Wars shows are supposed to be for Star Wars fans. People who actually are fans of the shows, and by doing so, by making things that are for the fans, you could help to bring in new fans. But when you try to make a show for everybody, pushing characters nobody likes, you understand me? Like Leia, Reva, hell, even Kenobi at this point, you mess it up. This could have been a good series had they done literally everything differently. Had they done literally everything differently, this could have been a very good series, but they didn't. 6 episodes of just plain awful. To come down to an ending that makes you come to one realization, what the hell was the point of this show? Seriously, that's my question. What was the point of it? The big confrontation between Kenobi and Vader didn't need to happen. Nothing in it did anything, because everything could have. This was the whole thing. What is that? This was all resolved when he left him to burn in lava. That was it. It was resolved then. None of this needed to happen. Reva was a character that should not exist at all. Leia could have minded her own business where she was. Instead, she decided to take this 10-year-old girl and act like she's 40 and push her into things. This could have been a good series. They'd done everything else differently, but they didn't. After watching this, I could honestly say my final rating for Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 1, I would give this a 1.2 out of 5. I cannot recommend anybody to watch this. This show does not make any sense at all. Really, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So that's it, people. Finally reached the end of Kenobi. And I am as confused as when I first started. I don't think this thing make any sense, and I don't think they had any reason to make it. But they did, and that's what we got. So that's it for me, people. That's my review for Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series. If you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.